Right, we're taking a look at the second part of advanced layers, and we're looking at layer filters. So if we open the layer properties manager, and there are actually some filters existing in here. In fact, there's one there I'm going to get rid of. Survey plot layers, right click, delete. So, but there's still filters. These are default ones in AutoCAD. You can either show all files here, all layers, sorry, or on this one it displays all used layers. Now I think there was a slight change there between all used and all. Now we've got one there, site dimensions, which has not been used. Now you can tell it's not being used just looking at this, because the ones that are being used are blue in color, light blue, and the unused layer is shown green, shown gray. As soon as you enter something in that layer, that will change to a used layer, and the color of that will change. If I just make layer naught the current layer, because when you've got the current layer selected, of course, that arrow hides this indication here. But you can see that it's still the site dimensions is the only one there that's at the moment is unused. If you can't see that, you need to go to settings, and you need a tick in this box here, indicate layers in use. If there's no tick in there, which there may not be, just put a tick in there, and then you'll immediately be able to see if there's any, when you're on all layers, if there are any layers that are not in use yet. It can be helpful at the end of a drawing if you want to check if you've not used any layers that you want to get rid of. Otherwise, you can use the purge control. If I type, I have to come out of there. If I type purge, and it opens up this dialog here, and you can see under layers there's a plus symbol. So if I click on that, and it shows only layers that are not in use, and it's shown the site dimensions. And if I select that, then click on purge, and it'll get rid of it. I don't want to get rid of it though, so because it's going to be used later. So we're leaving that there. So close that. But purging a drawing of things like unused blocks and unused layers is something you should do when your drawing's finished. You can do it earlier, and if you know you've made blocks and you know they're not going to be used, and purge them. But certainly do it at the end of the drawing. Now going back into layer properties here, manager. Filter controls are across here, these two here. That one is for a new group filter. If you make a new group filter, if I click on all so I can see them all, you can add items into a group filter just by dragging them in. Basically like that. So if I open up that group filter now, it's got construction layer in. I don't like group filters, and we're not going to use them. So I'll come out of that filter. Now I'm going to delete that, and because we're going to use property filters. And before you can use property filters though, you've got to have a naming convention for your layers. Now I've explained this a bit in the notes, which you should look at. But what I'm going to do is to begin with is put hyphens in between words in layer names to begin with. And I shall start with that. If you just select the layer, instead of right clicking and getting the pop-up menu, just press F2. That's a wee bit quicker. And I'll just backspace to there. And if I backspace there and put a hyphen in, and then if I hold Control on the right cursor key, cursor jumps to that point there, backspace, and put a hyphen in, and then just enter. I'll do the same with this one. Selected, press F2, and if I press the home key and then Control and right cursor key, backspace, hyphen, Control, right cursor key, backspace, hyphen, and it's a quick way of going through them. Now I want to make a few other changes to this here. Ancillary items like construction and viewport, for example, I'm going to put into a layer which I'm going to start with the letter Z. In fact, I'm going to put the viewport construction, and I'm going to put the survey spot levels and site survey block layer into a layer starting with the letter Z. And so construction, I just press F2 and home and just put an uppercase Z in there and a hyphen, enter. And I'll do that with viewport, F2, home key, Z, hyphen, enter. And then where are we? Utility wall, ordinates, the site block layer, F2, press home and put a Z in there and a hyphen, and then I'm going to do Control right cursor key, backspace, hyphen, Control right cursor key, backspace, hyphen, Control right cursor key, backspace, hyphen, and enter. And same with the survey spot levels, F2 to rename, press home and Z, hyphen, and Control right cursor, backspace, hyphen, Control cursor, backspace, hyphen, and enter. And if I click on name twice, and I can reorder them in alphabetical order, which helps us see where we are. I'm going to group the grid and ordinates into a filter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the grid one, F2 to rename, and put a hyphen there. Try that again. Put a hyphen there, and I'm going to type squares, enter, and then go to ordinates and F2 and press the home key and type grid ordinates, enter. Right, I'm going to change the site dimensions one a bit, and what I'm going to do is home, and I'm just going to select that, and I'm going to do cut, Control X, put a hyphen there, and then do a Control V, get rid of that space, and I've got dimension site now. So I press enter, and in fact I want to modify that a bit further. So F2, I'll put another hyphen there, and I'm going to put in MS for model space, and I'm going to make another layer based on this one, and I'm going to call it dimensions hyphen utility for the utility building hyphen PS for paper space, and that will do for now. And I am going to be adding some into the utility ones later. It says utility wall external, utility wall internal, but I'm going to do that as you'll see in the next part of the video. We're going to add those layers, and having come this far, we're now ready to start making new property filters that will work with this naming convention we've used here. So that's in the next section of the video.